Okay, welcome to another session in this series. In the previous session, we ended on question number 47. So here we start with question number 48. Cool. So here we are trying to find x, y, r. X, y, r. So this angle is what you're trying to find, okay? This angle right here is what you're trying to find. Cool. Now, we know that this line and this line are the same, okay? So that means the angle here and the angle here will be the same, okay? So let's label it. So this angle, let's call it y, and here y. They are the same because this is an isosceles triangle. So these angles will be the same. Cool. All right. Similarly, we have an isosceles triangle over here. Okay. Now this isosceles triangle, that means this angle here and then this angle here will also be the same. Okay. So let's call that angle x, and here is also what? X. Cool. All right. So now we can start looking for our values x and y. Cool. But before we look for x and y, let's look at something else. When you look at this triangle, we've been told that this line is parallel to this line. Okay. We've been told they are parallel. So that means they can form alternate angles. When you draw a Z, you can see that this angle and this angle are alternate. Okay. So this angle and this angle that we are looking for, they're the same. That means this portion will also be what? Equal to y. Okay. So this angle here you're looking for is also equal to y. Cool. Okay. Now before we move on, let's do something else. When you look at this line and this line, we can also have corresponding angles. Where can we find the corresponding angles with these two straight lines that are parallel? This angle here together is corresponding to this angle together. Okay, let's take it again. These are parallel lines. Okay, cool. These are parallel lines, so they can form corresponding angles. So this angle together is the same as this angle x here. So what that means is that x is equal to y plus y, which is 2y. So let's write that down somewhere. X is equal to 2y. Okay, so if you find x, we can easily find the angle that we are looking for, which is y. That means our y will be equal to x over 2. Cool. All right, now let's try to find x. How do you find x here? Now we've been given only one angle, which is 100, which is an external angle. Now we know that the sum of two interior angles will give us the external opposite external angle, however you want to call it, or exterior angle. Okay, so when we add this angle and this angle, which is x, we should get 100. Okay, so that means 2x is equal to 100. So we find x to be 100 over 2. Okay, which is 50. Cool. Now we can now find our y to be equal to x over 50, and we know that now we know x is 50, so we can write 50 over 2. So our y will give us 25. So our y is 25, which is C. So the angle we are looking for, which is y, is 25. Okay, cool. Let's move on to question number 49. We are trying to find which angle? TRQ. So this whole angle is what we're trying to find. Okay, but before we try to find anything else, let's see what properties we can deduce from this. We have two straight lines. Okay, so if you have two straight lines, that means we can have alternate angles. So if you form a Z right here, this angle will be equal to this angle, right? Because they are alternate angles. Okay, so this angle is equal to this angle right here. So this angle is the same as 65 because it is the same as this. We have alternate angles. Okay, cool. Now this angle, how do you find this angle? This angle right here add up towards 180 because it's a straight line. So this 102 would add up to this angle right here to give us what? 180. Okay, so that angle will give us what? 180 minus 102. Okay, that will give us what? 78. Okay, so let's do that angle right here. 180 minus 102, which gives us what? 78. Now the angle we are looking for is this total angle. So how do you do that? 65 plus 78. Okay, we add it. 65 plus 78, and that will give us what? 143. Okay, 143, which is B. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is question number 50. The question says, in this diagram above, the length of xt is what? 60. So this is 60, and then this line, sorry, this base here, ty, is what? 11, and xz, which is the hypotenuse, is what? 65. Okay, so we want to find what? yz. Okay, so now if we take out this right angle triangle, let's take it out. Right angled triangle. Okay, this is 65, this is 60, and then this whole thing we don't know it. This is the portion tz. Okay, we don't know that, so we want to find x. Okay, so how do you find x? We use what? Pythagoras theorem, because this is a right angle triangle. Okay, cool. So how do you find x? X will be what? 60 squared plus x squared should give us what? 65 squared. Okay, cool. Because how do you get that? You know that this is what? Pythagoras theorem. So we can just make x the subject, and then we find our x. So x will give us what? X will give us square root of 65 squared minus 60 squared. So x will give us, let's use our calculator. 65 squared minus 60 squared. That will give us what? 25. So x is what? 25. Cool. Now we know our value of what? X. But we are not looking for x. Are we looking for x? X over here is the total of what? Tz. So tz, the length of tz is what? 25. We are looking for what? Yz. So how do you find yz? You just subtract 11 from the total, which is what? 25. So yz, the length of yz is what? 25 minus 11, which is what? 14. Okay, so that is our answer A. Cool. Let's move on to question number 51. Cool. It says the sum of all the interior angle, so let's write that down. Interior angle, which is 180, and minus 2, that's the sum of all the interior angles, and the exterior angle plus the exterior angle. We know the exterior angle of a polygon is what? 360. The sum of the exterior angle of a polygon, the sum of the exterior angles of a polygon, regular polygon, is what? 360. Okay, now we've been told that the sum of the interior angles and the sum of the exterior angles together add up to 1080. Okay, equals 1080. So what we are trying to find here is what? The value of n. Cool. So let's solve that by subtracting this and this. What do you have? 720. Okay, so if you divide both sides by 180, okay, what do you have? N minus 2 is equal to what? 4. Finally, you have n to be equal to 6. Cool. Which is B. Alright, I think we'll have to stop here for now. In the next session, move on to question number 52. In the next session, we move on to question number 52. Thank you so much for joining this session. See you again next time. Bye.